So after doing a lot of workups, moving on to your second deployment.
Yeah, we basically repeat the entire cycle. Now we know we're going to go. So everybody really dives in like the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to relieve Team 4. Now they split us up. So now everybody's on their independent cycle. So we're going to relieve Team 4. And we all fly over. And you typically do like a turnover op. So as the guys in 4 are ripping out, they leave a platoon plus. Senior leaders, the lead nav, the lead breachers, snipers, all those guys, they leave those guys there, then you roll in, and they basically accompany you on the first couple ops. This is what the battlefield geometry is like, this is what the roads are like, this is what the target sets are like, all the different pieces, this is what chow is, gem, all that kind of stuff. You do a couple ops with them. And one of the very first nights we were there, probably there maybe a week, and that's when Clark Schrader got killed. Mike Day got shot like 27 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a shit show. One of our corpsmen got shot and got medically retired because of it. And that was a super surreal moment, man. We were all in our hooches. It was late, like they went out, but they'd been going out over and over. And it was our sister platoon that went out that night. And we had some partner force guys with us. We had an army element from the Iraqis, and we had a police element. It was like their SWAT team. So we'd rotate who we were going to go out with. And they went out that night, and never forget, man, I was laying in bed, and Cole comes in there and blows in my door and grabs me. He's like, hey, they got a man down. They got a what? Like, they just lost a dude. And I was like, who fucking lost? Like, it's so foreign to me to think that someone just died. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I was in buds with Clark. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Clark Schrader just died. When? Like, right fucking now. The ISR feeds up. He's like, somebody else is shot up real bad. They don't know if he's going to make it. Okay. Give me a minute. I'd laid back in bed, and I probably laid there for 10 minutes. I'm like, there is no fucking way. Like, I just saw that dude. Like, we were just watching Napoleon Dynamite 2 hours ago. Like, what do you mean he's dead? And it was hard to wrap your head around, because he was such a good dude. Everybody loved him. He was life of the party. Super great guy. And they came back and met him in their ready room. Like, we all run out, all the Humvees pull up, and we're jumping on top of them, ripping the 50 cals off, ripping off the twin 240s, just trying to help however we can, just try to get those guys in there. And god damn, man. They were in the ready room, still had all their kit on, just covered in blood. And one of the dudes is on his knees, and he's got towels, and he's scooping all the shit out of Clarky's helmet, just all the blood and everything else that's in there. And there's a single round, a hole through his chin strap, right where it hit him, and came through the other side. Quick, in and out. And you start to hear the story, they start to kind of tell it, and it's so emotionally charged, you can't decipher what has actually happened, because there's so many people talking at the exact same time. They're jumping over each other, like, fuck you, that's not what happened, this is what happened.
Right.
Like, you don't want to weigh in, you're just trying to absorb information, and it was so hard for those guys to compartmentalize that. And I can only imagine, because they're supposed to be flying home in 24, 48 hours. I mean, it's over.
Wow.
You're supposed to be done. And it was a turnover off. They just kept him because he was a good dude, and I think he was a lead nav. And god damn, man. Like, right now, so we had to do a memorial service. And I'll never forget, dude, we were setting to memorial service right there outside of Fallujah. And Kyle Milliken sitting next to me, and, you know, all the guys are getting up there talking about Clark and what a good dude he was and all this kind of shit. And he leaned over and he bumped me, and he's like, do you ever think about what they'd say about you? Yeah. And he goes, I do not want to waste this opportunity. I do not want to get killed on some bullshit target. Like, we got to do this one right. He goes, playing for keeps now. And we were very fortunate on that first deployment, got very, very lucky. No one got, jammed up. Nobody got super hurt on their deployment. Now it's this one. Now, right out of the gate, it's already started. Those guys have already been in a string of firefights. And now we're on the exact same target set. So now we know the very first time we go out, like, we are going to be in the fucking hornet's nest, dude. Now we know. And it felt like on the first deployment, it took a couple weeks, if not a couple months, to really kind of wrap your head around what the actual threat was. Now you didn't have to. Now it was already there. Now Spidey senses are at a complete 10.
Yeah.
Internet still shit. Wi-Fi's, no cell phones, the whole thing. And now you're... The only thing you have is the group. You just have the mission set, you have the group, there's nothing else. You don't have family, you're not calling back. I mean, I'd probably call back once every 3 weeks, maybe. On an iridium, 5 minutes. I'm still alive. Hang up the phone, go back out, gear it back up, gear it back up. And it was such a good deployment because you had a bunch of assets. You had all kinds of helos. You had the ground assault. You had everything else. And you had just a string. Because now, we've been here since 2003. Now it's 2007. And they just have a laundry list of targets that are good. Like, these ones are proven. Like, we've been hitting the same cell over and over. And every time we do, gunfight after gunfight. We got suicide bombers. They've got this. They've got that. Like, okay. And every time you went out, it felt so much more righteous than it did on the first one. Because now every time you go in, there's guns, there's grenades, there's suicide vests, there's bomb-making material, there's money, there's just all kinds of shit. And you're like, oh, okay, dude. Here we go. There's no doubt now. These guys are real players. You started seeing all the Iranians coming in and all these other foreign fighters. And like, oh, these dudes are gearing up. Okay. And it really just helped everybody kind of flick the switch. Because a lot of times when you hit benign targets or dry holes, you get that sense of complacency. Like, it's not going to happen to me. It's not my reality. Well, now it's a guarantee now. Are they going to get me before we get them? And I feel like it really locked everybody in. The mission planning was so much more focused from everything. The infill, the exfil, the actions on, everything in between was just really, really polished now. And we had a group of true believers. And it was super cool to see. The guys who were in Baghdad, Nick, Jack, Dave, Fagio, they basically took all of our 9 new guys and split them in half. 5 went here, 4 went there. And you got to hear what they were doing, and they were banging away, dude. They were crushing shit in Baghdad. And we were too, and it was phenomenal, dude.
So, your second deployment, you were in
Fallujah.
First one was Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit, would you say, hotter
than
the first one.
Yeah.
Right?
And anytime you do a summertime deployment, it's naturally going to be more exciting. The winter deployments, a lot of guys don't want to fight. I mean, it gets cold in Iraq.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys are all sleeping inside. On the summertime, so all sleeping on the roofs, and they've got guns next to them. They've got AKs. So if they hear you, they just jump on top of the roof and start fighting away. In the wintertime, they're all inside, cozied up in their beds. So a lot of times you grab them while they're sleeping. You know, it's a lot easier to do that. It's a lot safer to do that. But if they're willing to fight, you know, it is what it is.
What was your main mission set? Your second deployment, was it still direct action?
Yeah, direct action, all direct action. There was no PSD, there was nothing else. All we're doing is hitting targets.
Just finding dudes.
Yeah. Running down cells, find out who's at the top, who's at the bottom, and get everybody in between. Get them as fast as you can. It was great, man.
Do you have an example of, would you say would be like the most notorious one on your list during the whole deployment, second time around?
So the people that got in a gunfight that killed Clark and shot up Mike, those guys had actually they either shot down or a Marine bird crash landed and ended up killing everybody on board and stole all their gear. So that's something not a lot of people talk about. When Clark and those guys got shot that night, or maybe it was the night before, one of them, the dudes ran outside and they were in full military fatigues with body armor, with guns, with ACOGs, with lasers, with helmets with night vision, the whole thing. And there was this is my interpretation of a secondhand story, but from the guys who were there, they go to make the assault. A dude walks on the front porch and he's got military shit on. And there's like a hesitation, like, what the fuck? And then he turns broadside and they saw this huge ass beard and they dumped him. And then the whole firefight ensued. Like, those guys are shooting 5.56 back at us. We're shooting 5.56 back at them. But basically that cell that took that bird down, that got in that gunfight, they were still continuing. The majority of that cell was still alive. So we were like, we are going all in on killing those people. That's all we want to do is hunt them down. And once we got on that target set, it was just every night, just banging away. So they were in a little town called Karma that wasn't too far from us. So we did a long drive in. We did helo assaults. Just every time we went in there, we were getting gunfights. And that was my first taste of reality for how far people are willing to go. And there were some superhuman moves that happened on that night, but Maddie was in my same element that night. Had a bunch of dudes, and they would give you time after a couple rotations. They would take some of the junior guys and fleet you up to be like an assault team leader. So you're doing the brief, you're coming up with the plan. They're sanity checking, they're going to let you execute it. If anything goes wrong, the platoon chief or LPO would step in and take over. But for a lot of it's supposed to be like a softball.